This is your Irontrader. It is Tuesday morning. So we are going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. And we'll take a look at the old NQ, which is ripping up nicely at over 225 here. Now, looks like they might have a ceasefire possible, going on in the Middle East here. And that would be really good for the old market kind of a situation. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock, about ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly. Okay, now you can see here, came right on down here, all the way on down. We held this level. This is what we're looking for right here. Okay, this is at 98,615. Okay, now the reason being is when it rallies on up here, then we have consolidation, then it makes a new high, then it pulls back, and then we crack through that. That becomes a nice, good support level here. Okay, so this is what we're looking for at support, and that's what say that worked out very, very nicely. Now, we had a nice big green candle, went over the 50-day, filled that gap, and then right on up here. And today, look at here, we have this a nice green candle again. However, you can see here where did it go? Okay, so this is why I say this is why you trade the charts. So it went right up through the 8-day into the 21-day, and then it stopped. And now the price here is holding that 8-day. Okay, so right now Bitcoin is sitting at 105,385. Yeah, 105,385 level, and this is what we need to get above is this 105,458. Okay, that's going to be very, very key. Now, if we can get above that, then we have that 21-day sitting right here. You're looking at 106,293, and that's going to be very, very key to on a closing basis. We need to get above that level, okay? Because you can see here, see how much also the resistance is level that comes right here, and then when you bring this price, this candle right across, see that? Look how much resistance there is, okay? So we can bring that right across, and it's not just the 21-day, but there's a lot of resistance right in this level. Now, if we can get above this key level here, okay, then we're going to be looking for the top of this candle right here, okay? So that what you're looking at is at 107,495 level here, and then what we can do is we can just rally right on up here. This is what we're going to be looking for is this level right in here. This is that 109, 250 level, and then we'll come up here. We have that 110. Level, and then we're going to come up here for that 112, 345 level. So we got to see if we can crack through that. The key is right here is going to be cracking above this 8-day on a closing basis, and that 21-day, not just like what we had here, where you run into it and you pull back. Now, on downside, we want to watch today's low, obviously. That's 103,850 level, because you can see here. See how this is? And then we come right off the top of this candle. See how that support level is? Okay, and then again, if that's lost, we'll come down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 102,425. Then we'll come down to the bottom here. You're looking at 101,390. Then we'll come over the top of this candle here. Bottom here, I should say, is 100,815. And then this 50-day is going to be very, very key, okay? You need to hold this on a closing basis, is that 100,892. Now, just because it went below, that doesn't really mean anything. As long as you close above it, that's looking really good here. But again, this 8-day is going to be very, very strong for a resistance level, and same way with that 21-day, so always keep that in mind. Now, we got to an overbought condition, which came right back down here, but now we're sitting here at 51. That's not either bought or oversold, plenty of room to go. Your green is still below your red here because we have a downtrending chart, okay? See where we have this high, lower high, lower high, and lower high situation, okay? Now, here on the weekly here, so this is basically by Friday. Okay, now you can see here where we're getting above that 105, 132 level. You need to close back above this. Just because we sold down here, that's fine, okay? But we need to close back above that here for the weekly basis. Then we can start hitting these targets right up here, that 108,960. We have that 110, 150, and then your big retest up there at 112, 345 level. Okay, so always keep your eye on the old market. Now, we had this negative divergence going on here. See, we had this high, then we have a higher high, but we had a lower high here. Okay, so just be a little bit cautious on this whole situation, but your green is over your red kind of a situation. But for today's trading, okay, and for tomorrow's trading, is that this 8-day is key. Close above this, close above that, then we can go higher. If not, we're going to be right in this area right here, okay, and we could come right down lower here. But watch that 50-day. She's moving up here, but the 8-day is moving down. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold and silver. Let's take a little peek ski here at the gold, okay? So now you can see here we had these two indecision candles, okay? And now we lost that 8-day, we lost that 21-day, but now we're right into that 50-day, which you want to respect that, okay? Reason being, we held it here, no reason says we're not going to hold it there. Now again, if this 50-day 33.30 is lost, then we're looking right to this price channel here at 32.69, okay, which is basically right there at the bottom of that candle. Okay, if that's lost, we just bring this price channel right across. This is going to be your target. See, 32.07. Then we'll come down to the bottom of this candle here, 31.56, and then we come up here to the bottom there at 31.23. All these blue lines are as price channels. But the reason I like these is all they are just bottoms of candles. Okay, very, very nice, or tops of candles. Now, a lot of ways to do that. You can Bollinger Band, you can use clouds. I just don't find them nowhere near as accurate as these price channels, because all they are is, I say, tops and bottoms of candles. Okay, so what we're watching today is this 50-day. You need to close above this. This is going to be very, very key. Now, if that is lost, then I say we're going to come right down to that 32.69. That is what we'll be looking at as a target. Okay, now I always use gold, silver, I don't know, almost especially gold as like a fear factor. Okay, now it looks like they might be able to get through this war, get a peace agreement going on here, and that would take the uncertainty out of it. Okay, where gold could rally. So we've got to see how this all shakes out. Now, I have no position in gold and none in silver. Okay, I had a nice good position here in the GLD. When it got up there, this red candle, I sold it, and then she came right on down. So I just wait very, very patiently. Okay, now here on the upside, we're watching this 21-day. Okay, 33.68. That's going to be very, very key. Got to get back above that. Okay, and then 33.95. We get above that, then we'll come to yesterday's high, 34.13, and we'll work our way up, 33.22, and then right here is what we're looking for, 34.27 level. Okay, then we're coming right up here. Okay, 34.44, 34.48, and then we take the tops of the candles, 34.68, and then 34.76 is your retest. And then here's your breakout at 35.09. But right now here, we're still very, very good looking chart here. Okay, so see this? Look at this. Bottom left, upper right, can't beat this. Okay, now respect that 50-day. Okay, how nice it held. Now it can come down like we had here, but as long as we close above it, we're good. If we don't close above it, you're looking at that 32.69. Now, you can see here on the RSI here, this is coming right on off here, but you're only at 48. That could go either way. Your green crossed over your red. That's not good. Okay, that shows momentum to the downside, and that's exactly what we have. Now, let's take a look here at silver. All right, let's just see the silver. Silver had a really good sideways action. Nice bull flag, up again, and then we went to that, I made a high at 37.40. Okay, but question is here, see this? Negative divergence. We have a high, lower high, high, higher high. See this? Negative divergence. Now, we're basically trading in this range, okay? 35.42 on the bottom, there's your 21-day. 8-day is 36.39. You crack above 36.39, we're going to be looking right here, okay? 36.82, right there, 37.03, 37.40. You crack that, 38, then you go into 40. Now, downside here, this 35.42 is everything. That has to hold. If it doesn't, you're going to look right to the top of this candle at 34.94, and then we just venture down, 34.60, 34.35, 34.16, and then we're looking for that 33.91, which is your 50-day, okay? But right now here, just give that 21 the benefit of the doubt here, so just trade this range, okay? 21 on the bottom, 8-day on the top, okay? Very, very simple. Now, we crack above it, we know where we're going. We crack below it, we know where we're going. Okay, so we went sideways action here, and that's pretty much what we have. But I don't like this green that crossed over your right that shows momentum to the downside. That's really not a good scenario kind of situation. And if you look at this, it's not a very good one. But see how this was a bull flag situation? See, we had your pole, then we had your flag, and then she cracked up. This is almost like a bear flag situation. It's not really a good one. Not really a good one. But again, we got to watch that 21-day. That's going to be everything. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil, natural gas. Okay, here we have crude oil, and then we have natural gas. Now, yesterday, crude oil, I sold Sunday night, as soon as the market opened, I sold my UCO into this topping here, and then I went short yesterday, and it was just a beautiful short scalp trade here on the SCO. Okay, very, very nice. Now, as I was telling you, we had this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay, I pointed out, I said, if it cracks on up here, we're going to that 200-day. Okay, any kind of wars or any kind of something disruption will cause it to go higher. Okay, and that's what we had. We had about a $9, $10 premium going on right here. Okay, then we had the sideways action. Now yesterday, okay, when the pretty much a ceasefire came situation, This just, look at this, great. Look at that red ass candle. Look at that, all the way on down. Okay, so yesterday we made this low of 66.60 level. Okay, we're looking for the bottom of this candle here at that 66.72, and you can see we're even cracked down lower here today so far. But we do have a bottoming tail here, so okay, so you can be a little bit careful. Now they're talking about maybe that ceasefire kind of like got ahead of itself here, and something about the Iran violated Israel here. So this war is not over. Okay, always remember, the war in Middle East is never going to be over. Okay, no matter how you look at it, there's always going to be something kind of going on here. So it's always never. So always want to trade this. This is always a very, very good trade. Now we came down to low here today. So far at that 64.38 level. So we're looking at the top of this candle here at that 64.19. So far we're holding it. Okay, so what we do is we just take a level at a time, see where we had this top of this candle, 64.87, went below that, then we looked right to the next level at that 64.19. So obviously we're holding that level. Now, if it keeps right on rolling, well, then we got 63.35 right down here. But again, when we're up here, I just said, if they get some kind of a resolution, you're going to be right back down in the 60s. And where do we go? Right back down in the 60s. Okay. Now we got to an overbought situation here, and we had that negative divergence. See how we have this high, lower high, high, higher high. Okay. Negative divergence. Always keep your eye on that RSI. It's not just measures relative strength. It always gives you those divergences, gives you that little edge. Okay. Now what we're watching here for today is this 68.57. That's that 200 SMA. Okay. If we can get above that, then we can come right to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 69.38. Okay, we'll come here, 69.56 level. But really what you're looking for is this 8-day at 71.03. But you have to get above that 68.57 in order to do that. Now, the market here, for as far as oil goes, is very well supplied. This is just a disruption. The war is a disruption, and that's what's taking oil on up here, okay? So just always remember that it isn't like a big supply and demand issue. There's no shortage. There's no nothing. And matter of fact, Saudi Arabia is adding 411,000 barrels a day all the way for the last 3 months here, all the way through this month here again. So there is plenty of crude on the oil market. Okay, this is just disruption kind of a situation. So bottom line today, what we're watching is that 68.57 on the high side. If we get above that, your target's going to be the 71.02. Okay, so very simple. Downside, you're watching the 66.20 level. That's your 21-day and your 100-day. We lose that, we're going to come right down here. We're looking for that 63.35. You lose that, you can retest down here at that 59.74. Just that simple. Okay. Now, natural gas. Well, natural gas couldn't get off the old schneid here. We had a really good night or run up here, but remember, we have this topping tail. When you see these topping tails, you got to be very, very cautious. Now, yesterday, big ass red candle came all the way and down, but we're holding this 21-day. Now, we got right down low here onto that 358 level. Okay. Now, we never made it down to the 50-day, and we're back above the 20-day, 1 day. So this is what you want to watch on the downside, is that 364. As long as that holds, you can have some sideways to up action. If it doesn't hold, then we'll be looking for this 348, your 50-day. Now, upside, we're looking for this 100-day. 368, we get above that, we're going to be looking right there at 374. Okay, there's your 8-day. Now, we get above that level, we're going to come up here, 376, and then this is what we're looking for right here, is that 384 if it keeps right on running. Obviously, then we can just crack above that, 388, okay, 40, and then we have that 415 level, which is, this is what we're looking for right here. That's the level on resistance, okay? But right now, this chart is still bullish. See how we have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation, okay? Very, very nice. Bottom left, upper right. Okay, but this is natural gas. So this is nothing surprising to a guy like me, because they don't call this the widowmaker for nothing. Okay, so bottom line, watch that 21-day. We lose that, target is going to be the 50-day. Upside, we watch that 100-day. Okay, we get above that, you're going to be looking for that 8-day, and then right here, this level here at 384. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old NQs. Okay, here we have the old Nasdaq. Now, we have negative divergence going on here. It doesn't seem to be playing out, but we still, basically, you have negative divergence, but we have a very, very strong commodity here, okay? That's what remember. Now, we have this nice, good melt-up situation. Yesterday, okay, it came right on down below that 21-day, but you notice that 21-day is holding. That's why I call it the catch-all. We lose that 8-day, then we look instantly to that 21-day, okay? That's what we're looking at, and it's holding. Now, today what we're watching is it's got to hold this 22222, okay? That is what we'll be watching. That's the top of that candle right there. Now, today, so far, you can see we went higher than that, okay? 22,384. So what we always do is look right to the left of the chart here. This is what you're looking for right here, 22,319. Then we come up here. We're looking at 22,387. But realistically, 22,450, that's your mark. Now, we have to see if it gets in this area, what does it do? Does it blow through this? Or, okay, does it hit that double top and come right on down? Now, we've had a really, really good run that just doesn't want to seem to go away, okay? And it might not go away, okay, until we usually get that turnaround, like, say, right around that September, October area. This could just be melting sideways, okay? So just always remember that. Now, again, we have a very, very strong commodity. Even though we have the negative divergence, we're just hanging right there. Now, this could rally up here. We go higher than that. That would get rid of that, dissolve that, negate that, I should say, that negative divergence, and we just go higher, okay? So this is a higher trade until it isn't, okay? Downside right here. Watch that 8-day, 21,982. Very, very key. We lose that. We go to the catch-all at 21,739. Then we watch yesterday's low, okay? 21,566, and then we'll come down to the bottom of this low right here at 21,471. Okay, that's really what we got here. But 8 days, everything. As long as we're above this 8-day, 21-day, this is going to be just having a melting right on up. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading. We'll take a look at here some stocks. A lot of stuff is moving here very, very nicely. Tesla's back on the move here again. Let's see, Netflix is on the move here. Apple's on the move. My favorite trade is TQQQ, which is a nice sweet basket of everything. Nvidia's on the move here. Bitcoin is still is up here a couple of points, looking very, very good. I'm still long the BITX. Very, very good trading here this week here. And even though it is just, Tuesday. Okay, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.